around us. Introduction. We see the sun rising from the east and setting in the west daily. Sun also has a family like us, which we know as the solar family. This family includes all the planets like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and even satellites and some other celestial bodies known as meteors and meteoroids. Apart from all these, the solar family also includes comets. A comet is an icy body containing gas and dust. This comet orbits around the sun. While these comets approach close to the sun, a stream of debris originates behind. Location of Earth. Earth is located in between Venus and Mars. Out of all the planets, only Earth has life-sustaining potentials like suitable temperature, water, and air on it. Hence, Earth is a unique planet of the solar system. Origin of Earth. For hundreds of years, man has been curious about the origin of the Earth. Many scholars and scientists have presented different scientific opinions concerning the origin. They believed that the Earth was a ball of fire in the course of its origin. This ball of fire gradually cooled down. While cooling down, certain elements turned into liquid, some of them changed to solid, and an atmosphere of air originated around it. Not only this, layers of soil and rocks on the lithosphere also came into existence. Certain vast depths were occupied with water. As a result, oceans came into existence. Hence, eventually formation of the Earth took place. Coverings of the Earth. Our Earth comprises of 4 spheres. They are lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere.
ये तो आप लोग 6th स्टैंडर्ड में भी पढ़ते
हैं। Lithosphere. The term lith means soil. The uppermost layer of the earth consists of solid substances like soil and rocks. This upper layer is known as lithosphere. This upper crust is also termed as solid covering. We all reside on the lithosphere. Approximately 29% of the earth is enclosed with lithosphere, which is about 64 to 100 kilometers in thickness. This thickness is not uniform everywhere on earth. Lithosphere mainly consists of soil, rocks, and rock-like solid substances. As we move deeper, the temperature goes on increasing. The reason to this is that the core of the earth is extremely hot. Due to intense heat and pressure in the interior of the earth, the rocks inside the earth melt and change into molten rocks. These molten rocks are known as magma. The balance between two opposite forces between two opposite forces like heat and pressure is maintained in the interior of the earth. Due to this, the upper crust does not break. When this balance between interior heat and pressure is disturbed, the crust of the earth shakes with sudden tremors called earthquakes. Landforms like mountains, plateaus, plains and valleys have developed on this sphere. The majority of human life, animal life and plant life is developed and flourished in this sphere. Hence, it has a great importance in the study of geography. Lithosphere is useful in many ways. Lithosphere means the base of human, animal and plant life. Hence, it can be termed as the heartbeat of the earth. We have house to stay, water to drink, food from agriculture and activities for industries and business due to lithosphere. Apart from this, we get water and mineral oil by burrowing this top layer. Moreover, we acquire lignite and other minerals from this sphere. To sum up, lithosphere is the basic ground for the journey of any living being. Hydrosphere. On the Earth's surface, we have land as well as water. Water is more compared to land. Some lower portion of the land surface is occupied with water. The water-covered land area is termed as hydrosphere. The rest of the Earth's surface covers hydrosphere to the portion left uncovered by lithosphere. Approximately 71% of the Earth consists of hydrosphere. Oceans, seas, gulf, lakes and rivers are the areas covered under hydrosphere. The vast water resources in hydrosphere are identified as oceans. The names of the oceans in the hydrosphere are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean. All these oceans are connected to one another. The water portions rested near land areas are identified as local seas, bays, gulfs or straits. Oceans are very vast and deep, and at the bottom of these oceans, valleys exist with a depth of 10 to 11 kilometers. Along these, we can see the same physiographic features such as high mountains, vast plains, plateaus, valleys beneath the ocean like we see on the Earth's surface. Oceans hold 97% share of the entire water portion of the Earth, but oceans are salty. Oceans are useful to us in many ways. The highest amount of humidity that rains require come from oceans. We find a vast storehouse of many valued chemicals and minerals from the oceans. Oceans are the richest, inexhaustible treasure house for fish. We get salt from oceans, which makes our food tasty. Waves, currents, and tides are formed in oceans. Generation of electricity becomes possible due to oceans. Enormous amount of energy is likely to be obtained from the oceans for human life. Oceans are useful as waterways. To sum up, hydrosphere has a lot of importance in the living world. Time to think. What would happen if there were no oceans? Apart from the salinity of oceans, the drinkable water.
क्या सीखा आपने इन सब में अभी तक? टाइम टू थिंक में क्या दिखा रहा है कि what would happen if there were no ocean? क्या होगा जब हमारे ओशन नहीं होगा? तो इसका आंसर क्या है? Apart from the salinity of the oceans, the drinkable water that we get from rain would not have been possible, due to which extent of the living world would have come to nature. क्या होगा? पानी नहीं रहेगा हमारे चारों तरफ तो क्या होगा? हमें हमारे लिविंग जो है रहने की जो प्रक्रिया है उसमें हमें इफेक्ट करेगा ना। पानी के बिना तो जीवन है नहीं। और वैसे भी आप लोगों ने ये लेसन अच्छी तरह से अगर 6th स्टैंडर्ड में पढ़ा हुआ है तो ये पूरे लेसन के बारे में एक्सप्लेन से दिया हुआ है। तो वही व्हाट इज अराउंड अस, यानी कि हमारे चारों तरफ क्या है। अभी हमने लिथोस्फीयर के बारे में पढ़ा, अब दूसरा हमारा हाइड्रोस्फीयर। हाइड्रोस्फीयर क्या है? क्या है बोलो? पानी। और लिथोस्फीयर क्या है? जमीन, जहाँ पे हम लोग रहते हैं। फिर उसके बाद क्या आएगा? एटमॉस्फेयर, यानी कि कौन से वातावरण में हम लोग रहते हैं। ठीक है, वातावरण कैसा है। फिर उसके बाद क्या आएगा? बायोस्फीयर। तो अब हम आगे इसके बारे में जानते हैं।
That we get from rain would not have been possible, due to which existence of the living world would have come into danger. Humans would have to stay without valuable chemical and mineral resource that we get from oceans. Salt, being one of the main resources that we get from oceans, wouldn't be available to us. There would be no electricity generation without powerful waves, currents, and tides of the oceans. International trade would not have been possible then. The quarter part of the 3% water available on Earth is accumulated in the polar and mountainous region in the form of snow, whereas some of its part exists in the interior of the Earth and some part in sea, and some amount of it is in lakes and rest of it is flowing in rivers. Water that we can drink is very less, that is, approximately only 3% of the entire available water. This fresh water is the gift of hydrosphere. The existence of living world is due to the existence of hydrosphere. Thus, we say that water is life. Atmosphere. Atmosphere is the covering of air that consists of gases that surround the earth from all sides. Atmosphere of the earth.
एटमॉस्फेयर में कौन कौन सी गैस है बता सकते हो आप? यस,
ऑक्सीजन, नाइट्रोजन, हाइड्रोजन, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड।
ये और भी है
ऑक्सीजन,
ओजोन। तो सन रेज से जो है डस्ट एंड पार्टिकल्स नहीं होते हैं हमारे चारों तरफ, डस्ट और पार्टिकल्स भी होते हैं ना। वो जो एयर के अंदर, एटमॉस्फेयर क्या है? एयर। जो हमारे चारों तरफ जो है एयर है, इसमें ये जो एटमॉस्फेयर ऑफ द अर्थ एक्सटेंड अबाउट 1600 किलोमीटर फ्रॉम द सरफेस। स्टार्ट करें।
Extends to about 1600 kilometers from the surface.
देख रहे हो अर्थ के चारों तरफ?
It is impossible to see it with our naked eyes, unlike hydrosphere and lithosphere. Atmosphere contains various gases, water
हम
vapor,
अपनी आंखों से नहीं
dirt
देख सकते
particles,
एटमॉस्फेयर को।
salt particles, and even microorganisms. It is colorless, odorless, and transparent in nature. Atmosphere contains particles in solid, liquid, and gaseous state. Various gases present in atmosphere. Atmosphere is composed of various gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, ozone, and hydrogen. Content of nitrogen in atmosphere is 78.03%.
ध्यान रखना है, क्वेश्चन में आएगा आगे।
20.99%. Argon is 0.94%.
आगे आंसर में आएगा।
Carbon dioxide is 0.03%, whereas hydrogen, ozone, helium, and other gases with water vapor is 0.02%. 0.01%. As we move upwards from the surface of the earth, the amount of gases decreases and air becomes thin or invisible. As carbon dioxide is the heaviest gas, more of it is present in the lower layer, and while going up, its quantity decreases. Carbon dioxide is not present after 20 kilometers, oxygen approximately after 110 kilometers, and nitrogen for about 130 kilometers. Lighter gases like hydrogen and helium are present at extreme high altitudes. Oxygen plays an important role in respiration among all living creatures. Existence of life on Earth becomes difficult in the absence of oxygen. It is also useful for making pumps for pneumonia and lungs patients. Moreover, mountaineers and divers also use oxygen cylinders. Oxygen and nitrogen keep the living creatures alive on Earth. The proportion of carbon dioxide is 0.03%. It has a property of absorbing heat. Hence, the effect of heat is called as greenhouse effect. The falling sun rays on Earth are trapped by the Earth and in turn releases heat. CO2, carbon dioxide, present in the atmosphere absorbs the heat that the Earth receives from the sun. Thus, CO2 helps in maintaining the temperature of the atmosphere. If the quantity of CO2 increases, the air gets heated, and this in turn leads to the increase in the temperature of Earth. Due to this, the snow in the polar region starts melting, which leads to an increase in the water levels of the oceans. This increased water level spreads in the coastal lowland cities and villages. Thus, the greenhouse gases affect the atmosphere. In order to stop this effect, we need to keep proper check on the quantity of CO2 existing in the air. Scientists have accepted the importance of ozone layer. This layer of air protects the Earth from the extreme heat of the sun by absorbing its harmful ultraviolet emissions. However, the ozone gases have the least share in the atmosphere. It is high in proportion in the morning, in open areas, and in coastal areas. These gases are a rich source of energy, hence, people like roaming during these hours. Dust particles are also present in the atmosphere along with other gases. The dispersion of sunlight is due to the presence of these particles in the atmosphere. We get sunlight due to reflection of these particles with light. Moreover, it is because of these particles it does not suddenly become dark during dusk and dawn. These captivating moments of dawn and dusk are only owing to these particles. We get sunlight due to reflection of these particles with light. Atmosphere is extremely beneficial to us. Nitrogen and oxygen keep the existence of living beings on Earth. The human life or animal life becomes impossible on Earth in the absence of oxygen. Moreover, the food, clothing, habitat, appearance, and economic activity of any region has an impact of the atmosphere. We can also communicate through the medium of this atmosphere. Due to the friction of the atmosphere, the space elements like meteors burn and are destroyed. In this way, the atmosphere works as a natural shield to the world. Biosphere. In the solar system, is the only planet having biosphere. Life forms exist all around us. The life forms found in all the three layers, that is, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere, are together called the biosphere. The biosphere has its own significance on Earth. Biosphere includes numerous living organisms in it. These consist of vegetation, animals, insects, and humans. We all attain our daily needs like food and other vital things from the biosphere itself. This sphere provides enormous variety of food and raw materials to the living world. We cannot survive without animals and vegetation. Thus, biosphere is the base for the existence and survival of humans. Biosphere is divided into two parts. One is non-living organisms, that is abiotic, and other one is living organisms, that is biotic. The abiotic division of the environment includes lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere, whereas biotic division includes plants, animals, and microorganisms. Time to think. Can we think of the impact on human life if any one of the species becomes extinct from the food chain? All the species in the ecosystem have their own importance in balancing the nature. If any one of them is missing from this chain, we will notice an imbalance and the other species will have to face serious impacts. For example, currently, quantity of vultures has come down. As a result, it becomes very difficult to dispose the dead animals. Impact of human activities. Lithosphere is the only base for all of us to live on. Still, we do many activities related to self-development. This turns out to be problematic for balancing the safety of lithosphere, like digging the earth more and more in order to get more minerals, undertaking underground atomic experiments, deep drilling for getting mineral oil, and even digging out bore wells in large numbers to get additional water altogether turns out to be a serious problem for the lithosphere. Amongst the basic needs, water has the utmost importance. Still today, humans supplements in the quantity of polluted water. The debris of the city, solid waste of the villages, and industrial waste have rose to an immense problem for the civic authorities. On the other hand, it is disposed of in rivers, brooks, lakes, and oceans. Now, all these have turned out to be a communal trash. Due to constant industrial pollution, glaciers in the polar region have started melting, resulting in rise in sea levels. The waste oil spilling in the oceans is damaging aquatic life. The disposal of hazardous chemical industrial waste is constantly polluting rivers. Thus, it is dangerous for us as well as for the hydrosphere. Humans are busy in many progressive activities at a fast pace. This is harmful to the environment. The polluted air from industries, factories, power stations, and vehicles are polluting in the environment. Secondly, the areas having more traffic are accumulating carbon monoxide in big proportions in the atmosphere. Carbon monoxide is dangerous to living things. If the gas enters in more quantity in the human body, It would result in physical problems like headache and dizziness. Whenever human activity breaks the balance of environment, it creates many problems. Human race is advancing at the cost of environmental exploitation. This results in the risk of imbalance in the food chain. This condition is dangerous to humans and environment both. The maintenance of environment is now in our hands. Now it is essential to protect our earth and its coverings in order to secure our future. Project work. Students will note down natural and man-made incidents due to which the coverings of our earth have been damaged on a scale. Students will study the pollution-creating activities and its impact on the society and will definitely give appropriate solution to those problems.